Alchemists understood something we've forgotten. Transformation doesn't happen by avoiding the darkness. It happens through working through it. Hi, my name is Aziza. I'm an artist and currently I am building a body of work named Fear Alchemy. This work will culminate in a solo show at the St. George Museum of Art here in Utah. To give you a context and a framework of this work, I will do three things. First, I will introduce the historical roots of the alchemy. Second, how alchemy evolved over time. And third, how this framework informs the Fear Alchemy as an ongoing project. Alchemy has its first documented roots in ancient Egypt and ancient Greece, specifically in the Hellenistic period. In its earliest form, alchemy was a material and experimental practice. Alchemists were obsessed with transformation. They wondered how you can change the substance of the one material into another through controlled processes. Early alchemists worked in workshops that functioned as some sort of first laboratories. They used heat, specialized vessels, and long durations of time. Techniques such as distillation, calcination, sublimation were developed in this period. Early figures like Zosimos, Panapolis documented these methods in detail. Because of this, alchemy is considered as a precursor of chemistry. The most famous goal of the alchemists was the transmutation of base materials, specifically from lead into gold. Gold was valued not only as economically but philosophically. It doesn't corrode or decay. Other materials were considered as the imperfect forms of gold. Alchemy was grounded in classical theories of matter, specifically in Aristotelian philosophy. All substances believed to share a common underlying material. Transmutation meant refinement, reordering, and purifying what already existed rather than creating from nothing. During the Islamic Golden Age, alchemy had its own era. During this time, the alchemy was preserved and significantly expanded. Scholars like Jabir ibn Hayyan revolutionized the field. Greek and Egyptian texts were translated into Arabic, studied critically, and tested through experimentation. Beginning in the 12th century, these texts were translated into Latin, which helped to introduce it into medieval Europe. In medieval Europe, the alchemy got intertwined with the Christian theology. The material transformation often looked through the lens of the moral and spiritual refinement. Symbolic and coded language became more prominent, both to protect the knowledge and express complex ideas. This one is really interesting because alchemy is full of coded language. Alchemists were trying to protect the knowledge considered to be almost sacred in its value. By the 18th century, chemistry emerged as a distinct scientific field. Alchemy's material claims were increasingly rejected, but the alchemy did not disappear. It shifted its meaning. Processes once understood physical now were looked through more symbolic lens. These big shifts laid the groundwork for psychological interpretations. Psychologists as Carl Jung later reintroduced alchemy into the modern world through the psychological lens. He argued that alchemical symbols and stages reflected the unconscious psychological processes. This framework directly informs the work Fear Alchemy. It unfolds through seasons, through time, through stages of transformation, specifically the magnum opus, the great work. A sequence of stages describing transformation, and it goes like this: Nigrero, blackening; albedo, whitening; citronitis, yellowing; Rubero, reddening. Each stage represents a phase of transformation. The way I like to think about it is through movement of the sun or the absence of sun. If Negrero is blackening, I like to think of it as the darkest nights of the soul, the dark nights, the darkest phase where everything must be reduced to its essence. Albedo is the purification and cleansing stage. This is the stage where you wash away that everything that doesn't serve you, so new you can emerge. And after the albedo comes the citronitis, the dawning of the wisdom. This is the stage where the sun is up, the sun is yellow, the sun is so bright, and suddenly you see everything so clear, and through seeing everything so clear, you gain a new wisdom. And through gaining that wisdom, you move towards the ripening, towards the completion. And this is the final stage, the Rubero. Rubero is the wholeness, the union opposites, and the completion of the transformation. Fear Alchemy unfolds by these seasons of the transformation, and each season has 4 essential things. The research, where I go and interview the brightest professionals of the field work, where I go into the field and harvest my own materials, studio work, where I am in the studio sketching and bringing the artwork to life, and finally the reveal of the artwork, where I bring the artwork and reveal it on life. So the process here is as much as important as the outcome. Each season also has a color scheme, so if you're unsure where you are, pay attention to the color. The color is your guide. And if you are unsure where to start with the black. The black is the foundation. The black is where everything begins. So Fear Alchemy is not the therapy. It doesn't prescribe any solutions, but what it does is it offers a framework for exploration. My role is to guide the structure and share my process as an artist. This work doesn't aim to avoid or bypass fear. It stays with it long enough so something else could emerge. Clarity, courage, connection. You are invited to witness the work, engage with it, or simply observe as it unfolds. And if you made it until here, you're a champ. You are a champ. I want to say from my heart to yours, welcome. There must be connection between us. And so I'm very excited to share my journey with you. I'm very excited to share my process and my heart with you. This is Aziza, and see you in the next video.